Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys, and we are back again for the third week where we are talking about Pokemon movies. Yes, next movies in line. The next movie in line, Pokemon the movie 3, Spell of the Unknown, because that's what the English one is called. I don't know what they call it in the Japanese one because I don't watch the Japanese version of these movies. I watch the English versions of these movies. So, what are my thoughts on this? Let's get through the movie review and then I'll give you my thoughts on it, and stuff like that. But again, Pokemon the movie 3 is another iconic film that you can say people who've seen the anime and watched these movies absolutely love. And honestly, this is probably one of the movies I come across against fans who say, this one's so nostalgic for me, I love it to death. And honestly, so far out of the three, I'm gonna be honest. This is probably my favorite one out of the three after my rewatch. I enjoyed it the most compared to the other two. So let's get into the main story. What's the main story beyond what's the main story of Pokemon the movie 3, Spell of the Unknown? So we start the movie off with essentially this guy and his daughter. This guy is a doctor by the name of Spencer Hale and his daughter Molly. Now, it's established that Molly's mom is gone or dead or something like that, but you get to the end credits of this movie, Molly's mom is back alive or is back. I don't know how that happened, but okay. And essentially, you get a nice connection between Spencer and Molly. The fact that this is a dad that genuinely cares and loves his daughter and wants to be there for his daughter after whatever happened to his wife happened to her. And he's willing to be there, protect her, and essentially pretend like he's an Entei, a Pokemon, the legendary Pokemon, which is the feature of the film, Entei, the legendary Pokemon. And then I guess you want to consider Unknown. Yes. Unknown at the time was considered a legendary Pokemon. Oh, whoopie doodle doo. Yes, the Unknown in this movie that have bad CGI and that look like utter dog crap. Don't know why they could have just not been given an animated look in this movie, but okay, sure. Let's give them terrible looking CGI. Anyways, yeah, what we find out about Spencer Hale is the fact that he's doing research on the unknown and everything. And when one of his co-workers calls him in, like, I found something interesting, he leaves to go to these ruin sites and essentially sees these little tiles with the unknowns and everything. And essentially what happens is he gets taken to this spirit world by an unknown because he unleashes all of them. And well, he doesn't unleash all of them, he unleashes one of them and it takes him to this shadow realm. He's gone. So it looks like Spencer Hale is dead, and in response to it, Molly is obviously tragically destroyed that her father's gone, and she looks to try to do something about it. And she ends up doing the thing that kids would be interested in doing. Let's look at the artifacts of what the unknown were doing and stuff like that. Again, why the adults just left that stuff there on the table for her to get to, no idea. But what happens is she ends up releasing all the unknown by looking through it. And she also goes to make the mention the fact that all the unknown are in the shape of letters. Yes, they are. And I still have to go play Pokemon Legends Arceus and go catch all the unknown in the game. And I only have caught 4 or 5 in that game. So yeah. But anyways, she unleashes all the unknown come out, unleash, and essentially it creates a crystallized palace essentially, and everything, trapping Molly inside the crystal palace, and stuff like that. And we see later on essentially the unknown are using Molly's wishes, are, I guess you can say, her dreams, but her wishes that she desire into pure reality in a way, even though they are illusions and stuff like that. So Yes, that's when she wishes for Entei because she sees Entei as her father and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, we cut over to our main cast, our heroes, Ash, Misty, and Brock. Yes. After one movie, Tracy is already gone because fuck Tracy. But Brock's back. So yes, this takes place if terms if you want to watch this in the movie canon, in the canon of the series, it would take place at the start of Pokemon Johto Journeys. That's what it was when they first get into the Johto. Few episodes after they get into the Johto region, you can easily tell when the part was when you can easily tell when this part was for Ash, in terms of based on the Pokemon he has in this film. He has his again. You have his typical meets up with an opponent, and surprisingly enough, the person he fights in the intro of the film, like every other Pokemon film he comes across, surprisingly enough, this one girl actually sticks around the entire film. Doesn't play an integral role to the movie. She's just relegated to a few lines and a side character, truly. But hey, she's there observing everything. It isn't like the last two movies where Ash fights these characters. And guess what? You play with the background, Pokemon main theme music or something like that of the representative season of Pokemon. And they just go out their merry way and say, okay, you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for the battle. No, this character sticks around after the battle. This character's name is Lisa, and she was actually headed to this little town that they were headed, that Brock, Misty, and Ash were headed to. Now Lisa is a cute girl. I'm not gonna say nothing. I like it. I like her. She's a cute girl. Interesting character. To the standpoint, Brock does try to ask her out, but she's like, nah, I'm here for a Pokemon battle. And I'm like, yes, Brock, you get turned down. Only unless you come across a Battle Frontier brain Lucy. And apparently I've seen in Pokemon Journeys he's hitting on Cynthia too. Who wouldn't hit on Cynthia? Let's be honest. So I can't judge her there. But anyways, she goes on to say that she was going to go to this town. I think it was Greenview, or Greenville, or something like that. It was one of the two names. But when they get there, they see the crystallized, how the half the town is crystallized and everything. Now, this appears on the news, and essentially, Delia Ketchum, yes, Delia Ketchum plays another a huge part in this movie, and Professor Oak, they see this on the news, and we actually find out that Professor Oak and Delia are actually friends with Spencer Hale from the days when they were a lot younger, and stuff like that. And Ash and Molly know each other from when they were younger, or when she was a little girl, I guess, and he was still like maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. So they end up going over to where Ash is located at. They end up running into them. And essentially, that's when, Delia's like, yeah, this is what happens. We're here for Molly. Molly and stuff like that. And Ash is like, somewhat do. Yes, Ash, you don't remember nobody, because it's always constant amongst any continuity when Ash is in. He essentially forgets people that he should know, except if it's were like old companions. But anyways, what happens is Molly wishes to have a mom, and she looks at what's going on with the camera, and she actually looks at an interview with Delia and Ash, and she looks at Delia, and she's like, I want a mom. And obviously Entei's like, don't worry, your wish is my command. And he actually goes over there, he kidnaps Delia Ketchum, and takes her back to the palace, by essentially hypnotizing her and stuff like that. And well, there's your mom. Yes. So let me get this straight. She could essentially wish for her father to be the illusion of Entei. They're the figment of Entei. Please explain to me, why could she not just imagine or just wish that her mother was here, and we see her biological mother, you know, actually appear, like right then and there? Like, why not? Why do we have to have this whole thing where it's like, oh, Delia Ketchum gets captured. Oh yes, because we have to have Ash and company have an actual reason to go inside the to go inside the Crystal Palace. When technically you could probably make Professor Oak and Delia Ketchum a lot more important characters, since they actually have ties to Molly Hale's father. You could have just made it to where, guess what? They don't end up. Ash's mom doesn't end up getting captured. She actually asks, let's go after Molly. Let's go save her. And you can have the same storyline and everything, and it'd be a-okay. But okay, fine. Let's capture Ash's mom and make Ash's mom the damsel in distress here. Anyways, after some thinking and after wanting to save his mom, Ash and company decide to go along and go into the Crystal Palace instead. Even though they're getting chewed out by Professor Oak, and Professor Oak kind of becomes the kind of, I guess you can say, the dude that essentially explains the plot and stuff like that, and just as the explanatory character to tell Ash, hey, heads up, be prepared for this. But essentially we find out that the unknown essentially can essentially just read off of people's minds and create illusions of what people's wishes or dreams would like to be or like to have, or they would like to have. And obviously that comes with a cost, and that could be very dangerous with the kid, with the mind of Molly, who right now she's probably, I want to say mentally disturbed, but tragically disturbed because of the loss of her parents, and she has nobody all by herself and everything. So they end up breaking into the palace, but Molly doesn't like that. So essentially, she realizes that they're all Pokemon trainers. So she comes down, and yes, we can even see her how far these illusions can go. She can actually transform herself into, well, my God, a pretty hot looking chick. So yes, of course, she can turn herself into a freaking adult. Now we see her have fights with Brock and Misty. They end up getting easily destroyed because, yeah, we have to do it. But the thing is, it buys Ash enough time to be able to get to his mom. And at this point in time, his mom's already snapped out of the trance because she sees Ash on the TV on the laptop climbing up to try to go save her, and she kind of plays along with this whole thing and everything. Now they wake Molly up and everything, and they're trying to tell Molly, listen, this isn't real and everything. You need to understand this is just an illusion. You need to come with us, and guess what? You'll be a-okay. But Molly's clearly not feeling this way, and she's like, you're gonna try to take everything away from me, and I'm not gonna let that happen. So Entei shows up, and that's when you have the fight between Entei and Ash's Pokemon. When, of course, even though Entei is an illusion, he still has the powers of a legendary Pokemon. You can't defeat him. This isn't the games, Ash, where surprisingly in the games, your Pokemon can take on some of the more dangerous legendaries in the game, in the Pokemon universe, and somehow you can still be alive to tell the story. But in the anime, you go up against legendary Pokemon, you stand no chance of winning. Never understood that, so that's just me. But okay. Anyways, it's looking like Ash is gonna die because he falls over, and he's about to hit a bottomless pit of spikes. But lo and behold, one of Ash's greatest Pokemon in his arsenal shows up because he was actually watching the broadcast and saw Ash and everything. And yes, it is Charizard. Charizard saves him, and you get probably in a very iconic fight between Charizard and Entei. Even though Charizard ends up getting beaten and destroyed regardless, it's still an iconic moment. That's one of the biggest moments a lot of people can remember from their childhood or even just watching this film. Remember Charizard versus Entei? That was a pretty dope fight. I enjoyed it and stuff like that. Oh yes, Team Rocket's involved in this. They somehow get involved because they're flying over the Crystal Palace. Entei blows it up. They end up entering the Crystal Palace, and essentially before Ash almost falls over, they also help with Brock and Misty pulling him back in and stuff like that. But anyways, after Charizard's defeated, Entei kind of steps on its neck like it's about to crush Charizard's neck and kill it. But that's when, yes, let's get the plot line from the first Pokemon movie back involved. Please don't fight this. This is not the way Pokemon should be fighting. Yes, let's bring that stupid plot point back. But okay. But in Pokemon Legends Arceus I'm playing, we play Pokemon to the death. They even use the word die in Pokemon RCG's Legends, which I actually approve of. But anyways, because of this, and because of Molly's plea, it makes Entei stop. And essentially that's when Molly realizes that she wants to go home and she wants to leave and everything, and she's ready to go. So that's when the others plan to that's when the others plan, like, okay, good, we did our mission, we saved my mom, we got Molly, let's get out of here. But the unknown have other ideas, and they're not letting them go because that's, well, what they're doing. So what happens is they're trying to skip all these things the unknown are throwing at them, only to end up in the same room as the unknown. And essentially the unknown are not letting them escape and get out of this whole area. And it's kind of the whole thing that they're trying to trap them in here and stuff like that. But they try to stop the unknown, but there's this barrier coming up. But essentially, the powers of Pikachu, Charizard, and yes, Entei, with Entei getting the belief in Molly to break the barrier, they manage to take out the unknown. Entei disappears. The day is saved, and the movie's over. We end up seeing that Professor Spencer Hale in the credits gets out of the alternate reality shadow thing place, or the realm. He heads back. He and Molly reunites and stuff like that. Ash, Misty, and Brock continue on their journey. Like I said earlier, Molly's mom somehow shows up again. Don't know how. They don't explain it. Or they just want to make everything happy. And like I said, end of the movie. Simple as that. So, what are my thoughts on Pokemon the movie 3 Spell of the Unknown? Honestly, I enjoyed it. I love the movie. It's right now, it's honestly my favorite Pokemon movie as of my rewatch of the Pokemon movies. I thought the plot was good. It was probably the best out of the three. The antagonist was the best out of the three. Whether you want to specify the antagonist being the unknown or Molly Hale, morally, it's Molly Hale than the unknown, but it kind of has ties into the thing. It's kind of the whole thing is like, oh, this is the antagonist for this part, and then the true antagonist is here. It's kind of that type of movie where it's like, oh, you think the antagonist is this little girl, but no, it's kind of the unknown that are causing the entire problem and stuff like that. So yeah, but Molly Hell is an antagonist. Fine. It was an antagonist that was like Mewtwo, where I'm gonna take over the world and destroy it. Although I like Lawrence the Third a lot better than Mewtwo, from the standpoint that he was just collecting Pokemon. He really didn't bring much to it. He just kind of threw the world into chaos. Here, this antagonist is still better than both of them, because this antagonist has a legit purpose to do why, a true legit purpose to do why do what she's doing. She just wants her family back, and she feels alone, and she's a little kid that doesn't understand no better than, well, anybody else. Other people know what she's doing isn't the right thing she's doing. She's just blinded by that because she's lonely and she's afraid, and she's just a little kid. But with Mewtwo, he clearly knew what the hell he was doing. Okay, then why'd you do what you do? And if you don't like how people are treating you, then why won't you want to be the better person and actually be the person that's kind to others? Lawrence the Third, you kind of just did your whole thing because, oh, it was different and you're collecting, but it was kind of your downfall. And again, all right. But Molly Hale was the best antagonist so far from the movies I've watched, because it had some uniqueness to it. And, you can truly believe it because she actually had a relationship with her dad at the start of the film. You clearly established that at the start. Like I said, the plot isn't the best plot, but hey, I still think it's solid again for another Pokemon movie. Like I said with Pokemon the movie 2000. Just a few things do it more for me. Now I do think the stakes are a lot still higher in Pokemon the movie 2000 than this film, but it's still a cool film and everything. And it's an iconic nostalgia film that you can remember. And honestly, just rewatching it, I got enjoyment out of it. The only negatives is the fact that they could have probably had Professor Oak and Ash's mom Delia be more integral to the plot from the standpoint they didn't have to kidnap them, or didn't have to be the character explaining to Ash like, do this, do this, do this, and stuff like that. But yeah, essentially, yeah, the side characters, they were delegated the side character roles. Again, like I said, Lisa so far is one of my favorite side characters that and company come against or essentially work along with, even though she wasn't helping them in the palace. Guess what? She still had their back. Heck, she wasn't even willing to tell Professor Oak that they snuck away to the Crystal Palace and everything. And she actually stayed literally till the end credit scene where she essentially says goodbye and everything, which again, first of the Pokemon movies so far. The fact that Ash goes against the opponent and they stick through the entire film. And I thought Lisa was fine as a character. So yeah. But other than that, I enjoyed this film. I thought this film was actually pretty good. And it's my favorite film of the Pokemon movies so far. So right now, I guess you can say Pokemon the movie, Spell of the Unknown, then Pokemon the movie 2000, and then the Pokemon the first movie. That's how I'm ranking them so far. But yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on Pokemon the movie 3, Spell of the Unknown. Is it your favorite, or is it your least favorite, or is it in the middle somewhere for you? As well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Pokemon movie content as I continue to do this weekly and stuff like that. But next Pokemon movie will be the 4th Pokemon movie in the franchise, and that is specifically titled Pokemon Forever, which I know is pretty decisive as well. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I know some people love it just for the nostalgia and iconic, but I'm gonna try to look at it in an in-depth type of way and see, is it a movie where it's actually pretty good, or is this a movie where it's like maybe the nostalgia is just hitting too much, where it's faking me to believe that this movie is actually good, but I still get enjoyment out of it. Whatever. I still enjoy all these Pokemon movies, but I'm just going to be honest with an objective eye and say, is this movie good or is this movie bad? But we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night channel this video. Until then, guys, catch you guys later. Peace.